lot of people think Fallout 4 isn't all that good of a game. Any video where I talk about something about vanilla Fallout, that being Fallout 4 with no mods, the comment section is plastered with tons of different people's opinions about largely how they don't like the game or Bethesda should give up on the franchise. One of the major complaints here, at least for Fallout 4, is with the story and a lot of the RPG elements that are largely just lacking for the game. Now, I can't really help you too much with the RPG elements. That's going to take a much larger mod and really an overhaul, if anything. But story-wise, there are a few mods that have come out over the past year or two that definitely do provide you with a interesting, if not better, experience than what you get in vanilla Fallout 4. So in today's video, I want to show you 5 of those mods. Now, I might title this the top 5 quest mods, but largely that's super subjective. Honestly, this is just a list of 5 pretty good quest mods that I've played, enjoyed, and now want to present to you. You can find links to all of them down below. If you enjoy the video, I encourage you guys to leave a comment or a like. But to start things off, we do have America Rising. So basically, this is going to be an Enclave-based quest mod. You're going to be reintroducing the Enclave back into the Commonwealth, at least somewhat. They don't have a super far-reaching control, but regardless, it actually has implications on the main story. The premise of this mod is more or less that you're going to find a distress signal from the Enclave, and you can choose to help them, and really you have to choose to help them if you want to do this mod. Then you will have 7 quests to help them get a foothold in the area, take down some of the Brotherhood of Steel, and that's actually one of my favorite parts about this mod. It has implications on the vanilla Fallout 4 gameplay. If you side with the Enclave and get some of the perks that are associated with siding with them, such as custom vertibirds, a player home, you will thus be aggroed to the Brotherhood of Steel, so you can't really do that questline if you wanted to. And even beyond that, seeing the Enclave and Brotherhood of Steel go head to head yet again is pretty awesome, even in Fallout 4. This was like my first major quest mod for Fallout 4, and I had a ton of fun with it. Whether you're a huge fan of the Enclave or not, either way you could play this mod. Maybe you'll only get halfway through it and then realize, uh-oh, I don't want to aggro myself to the Brotherhood of Steel anymore, or follow it all the way through and honestly just have a great time in the process. Fusion City Rising is going to be probably the largest quest mod on this list. The mod author himself estimates this to be 10 to 20 hours with just the base mod, and I'll get a little bit more into that in a second. Regardless, what this is going to be is a new underground city, that known as Fusion City. The city itself is going to have a ton of different things: a subway system, a fighting arena, a hotel, university, a player home for you to get, and pretty much everything else you'd expect to have in a city. There's also clubs, new enemy factions, and things like that. You're going to have a bunch of different quests here, as well as a ton of new battles and dungeons for you to explore, complete. There's decisions that can be made. Honestly, there is just a ton going on here. It's also fairly over the top. It's definitely more kind of extreme when compared to something like Fallout 4's vanilla game or even some of the other quest mods I am showing you. But at the same time, this is very expansive. You'll get invested into the characters you are interacting with, and although that is somewhat present in some of these other mods, not nearly on the same level as this one. There's a full main quest as well as a ton of different side quests. And even beyond all that, there's voice acting, everything you really want from this, new companions, and as I did say before, a player home that kind of leaves a lasting impact. But the really crazy part, even if that all alone was enough to sell you on this, it actually has its own DLC known as Outcasts and Remnants. Following the same theme as Fusion City, Outcasts and Remnants is going to add in, as you guessed, Outcasts and Remnants, that being Enclave Remnants as well as Brotherhood Outcasts. These are custom made factions, not the ones you are traditionally used to seeing like in previous Fallout games, but it's going to add in a whole nother 10 hours. The 2 of these mods in culmination, which you have to kind of use them in culmination, are going to bring you one of the largest and most expansive Fallout 4 modding experience just ever. Until we get one of those big overhaul mods, I don't think anyone's going to top this because it's been a huge collaborative effort. If you guys have somehow never played this before, I would definitely give it a shot. Again, you're going to get really invested in this, and it's not something you just finish in one playthrough. There's a lot of time you're going to have to dump into this to get the full enjoyment and really finish all the quests. Then we do have Maxwell's World. Basically, what this is going to be is, think Nuka World but haunted. It's going to be a massive theme park made by Mr. Maxwell, a rich person who basically wanted to create a big theme park, except it's haunted and there's a lot of spooky stuff going on here. This mod is a ton of fun. When it originally released, it was kind of buggy and it had a few issues here and there. Fortunately, now with time, those have been largely patched and it does work pretty much flawlessly. Even beyond that, this mod actually adds in a bunch of kind of new components, new ways to interact with the game, things you're not going to see in a lot of these other quest mods. One other thing I think you'll really like about this is it adds in a whole new kind of trade system, so you're no longer going to just have a ton of caps like you did in vanilla Fallout 4 if you were a high level character. As you jump into this quest mod, you're more or less going to be starting over and have to earn this new currency to get some of the weapons here. It's honestly a ton of fun, and again, it's another one that's going to be pretty long and give you an interesting experience more so than anything else. Some of the components and aspects of these other quest mods or even vanilla Fallout 4 kind of turned on their head here, and it really just changes the overall dynamic. Then we do have Vault 1080. So this is actually a kind of joint thing. It's a quest mod as well as a lighting overhaul. NVIDIA made this to advertise their GTX 1080. Obviously in this video we're focusing on the quest part of this. Basically it's going to take you to this old abandoned church. Under the church is actually going to be a fully fledged vault. This is going to be one of those mods where you have to kind of read the terminals and look around and really just notice some of the not super obvious things. If you just power through this and kill everything, you can finish it fairly quickly, but that's not really the point here. It's one of those locations that you're meant to explore and take in as you go through it and uncover what the kind of horrors that were going on here are. It's actually based around lighting, so you may want to bring a flashlight mod or something like that to see, but at the same time the point here is to actually take in the darkness. That's one of the undertones. It's about a misguided congregation that embrace darkness and sickness in order to survive, and you actually can make choices about these people. Do you want them to survive? Do you not want them to survive? It's pretty interesting, and it definitely has a very different experience than all the other ones I did show you. Again, this is more like a traditional Fallout 4 location, like something like Dunwich Borers, where yes, there's a ton of things to just kill, but if you look at the deeper meaning there, it definitely has a more enjoyable and expansive experience. Last but not least, we do have Barrenwood. This again is going to be kind of a different experience. More or less is going to be much more on par with something like Far Harbor, not in size and scale, but just in the way you experience this quest mod. Basically, you're going to be taken to a new location, a new island known as Barrenwood. Once there are a ton of different quests that you can embark on. You're kind of inducted into the first quest as you do immediately get onto the island, but from there's a bunch of other side quests that you can experience if you'd rather do them instead, as well as an entire island for you to explore, experience, meet some of the different NPCs and characters. There's a bunch of different shops here and things like that, and all of this is fully voice acted, and it honestly is a quite high quality quest mod. It's definitely the latest out of all of the ones I'm showing you by a long shot, but also didn't really get as much attention as it deserves. This is a ton of fun to play, and I'm trying not to give away too much because this doesn't have like an overarching theme as much as some of the other ones. It's more kind of branched off into different parts, which I really like, and I think it's a ton of fun to experience, but it's kind of hard to explain that in one or two sentences. Either way, those are the 5 quest mods that I think are worth a download right now for Fallout 4. Obviously there's more than this. Tales from the Commonwealth, 50 Ways to Die, Dr. Nix are 2 really cool quest mods that are not included in this video because I haven't really played through them, but I'll probably make a follow-up to this in the future if you guys want to see it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. As always, again, I thank you for watching. Hopefully you found this video informative. Hopefully you're going to download at least one of these quest mods, and I hope to see you guys all next time. Later.